call Captain Scott Smiley a lot of things: husband, father, soldier, and now author. But don't call him a hero.
No, I don't like it. I think there's so many more better chosen men and women out here who have given so much more for our country.
Since being injured in Iraq, Smiley has gotten an MBA from Duke University and taught leadership to fellow soldiers. He's also climbed Mount Rainier, surfed in Hawaii, skydived, won an ESPY for being an outstanding outdoor athlete, and is now the first active blind officer in the Army. Scott runs the Warrior Transition Unit at West Point's Medical Center and admits not even he thought he would accomplish so much after losing his sight.
Looking back 5 years ago when I was in the hospital bed, depressed, sad, upset, questioning what my life was worth, the last thing I would have ever thought would it be where it is today.
I think I had more faith in him than he had in himself, and was just ready, excited to help him on the journey.
Although Scott doesn't see the journey as solely his.
My story just doesn't involve me. It doesn't just involve Tiffany. It doesn't just involve my family. It involves all the people that I have impacted or who have impacted me.
Many of us are all too aware of our own limitations. Scott, though, doesn't even recognize his own.
I guess sometimes I don't see myself as being blind. There were certain things in my life that I didn't want to change, that I didn't want to have taken away from me.
He's the real deal. A year ago, I would be in a down mood and my wife would say, "You need Scotty to call." She recognized that just when he called on the phone, it would instantly lift my spirit.
There were a lot of potential locations where the book could have been launched, but for the Smileys, there really was only one.
People would tell Scotty, "You can pack out Madison Square Garden and have your book launched there," and Scotty's like, "Absolutely not. I'm going home."
And we're glad he has. Kevin Uretsky, Cap KVU Local News. It may have been a once-in-a-lifetime chance to be part of a once-in-a-lifetime event. The procession of those on hand stretching throughout the middle of Richland in the type of line normally only seen when people camp out for major rock concerts or sporting events. But everyone in this case was waiting for only one individual, Sarah Palin.
Thousands upon thousands, all lined up, some for more than 24 hours, all to see one person, and, well, quite frankly, simply to say, they were here.
Some were there because they relate to Palin's life experiences.
I feel like she's just like me. She's a mom. She's, doing what she's got to do for her city, her country, and she just has the same kind of values I believe in.
I have a kid with special needs, and so, it definitely touches my heart, to see her be so positive about that.
Others because they admire Palin's independent spirit.
I think that people, the people who don't care for her are a little bit intimidated by her frankness and her openness and her willingness to kind of step forward and be, maybe say the things that other people would be afraid to say.
And yet others because they have a shared history with Palin's family from long ago.
1971, we lived there in Eagle River, Alaska, underneath the heats. And it's important to support Sarah.
The mood was almost communal in nature, on a day when no one seemed to mind waiting for a brief moment in time.
26 hours of a lot of sitting. Kind of chilly, but we got through it and it was worth it.
I just thanked her. I thanked her for giving her life up for our country, because that's basically what she's done.
And when it was over, the thank yous seemed to flow both ways, and that neither the crowd nor the subject of their affection really wanted this once-in-a-lifetime moment to slip away. It's the challenging question that anyone entering a new chapter in their lives has to answer. What's next? After traveling from Walla Walla to Pullman to New England to Buffalo to Dallas during his standout football career, that's the question that Drew Bledsoe had to answer 3 years ago when life in the NFL came to an end. He found the answer not far from where he started. High above the Walla Walla Valley, these grapevines represent the planting of the future and the harvest of a friendship years in the making. Drew's new passion? Double back wine. Symbolic of how his life has come full circle.
It's about the the story of leaving Walla Walla and going off to this big other life and world, and then doubling back to my roots. For me, it's about a passion for it to be excellent, whatever I do.
And Drew didn't have to look far to find someone he knew would share that passion to become part of this project. Enter childhood friend Chris Figgins, now a second-generation winemaker in Walla Walla, having grown up learning the business from his parents.
We grew up literally, 400 yards from each other. And then, I went off and did this other thing, and Chris became a rock star in the wine world. And then we came back together, and we've got this fabulous project.
Drew's mom was my 7th grade English teacher, and I remember Mac used to give some motivational speeches, and given one about shooting from the stars in junior high that I'll never forget.
For each, this is a long-term commitment, and one that reflects the pride they feel for their shared hometown.
Yeah, that feels really good. There's a couple of small-town kids made good, and now we're working together.
We're out to prove ourselves as, that we're really making truly world-class wines as good as anywhere on the West Coast. And really proud to have that Walla Walla name and hometown be a part of it.
And both believe they are not only creating something that will last, but something worth the time and effort.
It's a classic Washington Cabernet. I think it'll age well, but it's also drinking very well just right out of the gate.
So you take, the great story and all of that stuff to kind of get it out there, and then the juice that's in the bottle actually stands up. I mean, it's really, really great stuff. So it's fun.
At first glance, it looks like any summertime gathering. Music, friends, fun. But this is a special picnic for the kids of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. After this year's week-long camp in Idaho was canceled due to swine flu fears, this was the kids' chance to renew acquaintances and see some of their friends for the first time in a year.
It's great. I think it's a time to just kind of relax, and it gives him a chance to meet other kids that he can relate to, and it's just great.
She's counting down the days from the time I told her there was a reunion, so it's really good to see her happy about something.
The fact that this was an event for parents and kids together led to some interesting observations.
Kind of finding it's a unique day because the parents don't usually see this part of the kids, and so I've been telling stories to the parents about what their kids do, and they know the different child than I do. And so it's been kind of fun that the parents are able to meet their friends from summer camp and meet other parents that are in the same situation as they are.
So whether camp is lasting 4 hours or 4 days, the message on this day is that no matter what the challenge is, life is good.
My friends are being nice to me, and I learn a lot.
But not every picnic attracts a herd of hogs like this, riding in intent on putting smiles on faces that often need them.
Breaks my heart. I love seeing the joy that it brings to them.
And don't think the kids won't emulate the bikers, even if their vehicles have a little less horsepower.
I'm going to make it a Harley, orange and black.
Maybe someday we can find a cure. Maybe someday they won't have that dreaded stuff.
That's something we're all working towards.